Right, okay, you're live. You're live.
We are live. We are live. Good evening, good day, good light. I am your host, Miss Bexy Bex, and welcome back to yet another edition of Mind Over Matter Digital. I want to tell you what number show we're on, but it's locked down and I've lost count of the days. So welcome. This is where spoken word meets hip hop, poetry meets song, and you guys get to meet some of the best and most amazingly talented people on the scene. Now, this is not just in London, but due to lockdown, we've had guests from like Russia, USA, Georgia, the country, not the state. And tonight we have some amazing, amazing talent for you. Make sure you click like and subscribe and share our YouTube channel, Mind Over Matter London. And you can watch some of our past shows as well as this show later on. So we're going to jump straight into it. We have a stellar show for you guys today. Some of my personal faves, I can see them sprinkled in the Zoom here. We are going to go straight to our first poet. Let's not waste any more time. Simon Madrell, are you there? Welcome to the screen.
Hi. Yep, Simon Madrell. This poem is called Three Crows. 1. A parcel of them sit in circles and judge, even though they don't speak. 2 whiskey macks discussing the Bible, double-planked lips, splintered tongues, don't ask, don't pray for missing words. A circle of them mourn their dead, even though they don't speak. Cradled in my arms, bones riddled. There's no going back now, you crack. No, Dad, I'm afraid there isn't. I squeeze. It was too late then, missing your words for who I am. 2. A horde of them issue corker warnings, even though they don't speak. Overhearing at 7, discussing my brother, I'd rather have a thief than a queer for a son. Don't tell Dad those 2 missing words. A hover of them recognize threats, even though they don't speak. 40 years later, you change your mind. Homosexual ministers, they are my problem. What other people do in private is their affair. It was too late then, hating your words for who I am. 3. A muster of them recognize our faces, even though they don't speak. Meeting my boyfriend, you never stayed again, preferring a B&B to the home of your son, where he slept alone, missing you both. A murder of them hold grudges, even though they don't speak. It's me calling Pakistan. Carmel, you met him. Trying to break this ritual around the truth, a game in the woods with a noose and a hood. It's too late now, missing my words for who I am. Thank you.
Brilliant. That was amazing, Simon. Thank you so much. A very touching start to the show. We're going to keep it moving straight on to our next open micer that we have for you. Coming up to the screen next, we have, I can see him in the room, Steve Tasani. Did I say that right? Or was it Tasane? You're going to say Tasane, aren't you?
That's all right. It's Tasane in Estonian, and it's just Tasane. Yeah, hi, everyone. I wrote an angry, sweary poem about the coronavirus, and it sounded kind of really ugly. So I changed it by replacing, every time there was the word fucking, I replaced it with bless you, and it kind of worked a little bit. But there's still lots of other swearing in it. So there's a trigger warning for you there if you don't like swearing. Pardon me. Appropriately enough. And bless you, sick of being, bless you, sick of living in a state of epidemic deprivation and self-inflicted hate. And bless you, sick of knobhead Boris and that bless you, dickhead Cummings and sycophantic ass lickers, yummy, bless you, yumming. They claim they've got a battle plan, they'll get it done, they're on it. It's called Project Fear the Other and it makes me want to vomit. The herd immunity mentality just isn't, bless you, funny as they sacrifice the few for the benefit of the money. And bless you, sick of the transmission of democratic business as parliamentary members throb with utter, bless you, thickness. And bless you, sick of feeling isolated in a self-isolating nation, shaking hands with hands that haven't washed after master bless you bation, because they hope that someone gets there. Yes, they hope that someone gets there. They hope that someone gets there. Corona in a bottle. I'm sick of parasitical institutions investing in infection with shit on their hands. They don't care because they smashed the last election. And bless you, sick of influencers, super spreading influenza, who've invested in the stocks and shares of sanitary cleanser, chomping chlorinated chicken dippers with contaminated cola and shots of SARS at Costa with a side order of Ebola. It's a worst case scenario, but what's we're running out of toilet roll though? It's a pandemic pandemonium, the panic's pathologic. We'll never be pristine again like a shoe that's trod in dog shit. When all we've got's our verses uninfectious virus. Our words might be a wrecking ball, but COVID's Miley Cyrus. An earworm so contagious that it's going bless you viral. A super bug that drags us down a downward bless you spiral. Because they hope that someone gets there. Yes, they hope that someone gets there. They hope that someone gets there. Corona in a bottle. When apocalyptic sickness is the dirty war they're waging, if we can't contain ourselves, they'll contain us with contagion. Their rules are based on science, but their science keeps on lying. When schools were open and pubs full, was containment really trying? Now antisocial isolation leads to sickness and starvation as the Ministry of Health and bullshit brings back segregation. They spread their bless you porky pies. Your health could not be finer. Take it on the chin, they say. If it goes tits up, blame China. What's your poison? Take your medicine. What the fuck is the distinction? Let's rise up in rebellion before we bless you face extinction. They'll grant us no immunity. We're corona refugees. We're stay-at-home refugees fighting this disease on our knees. But before the fabric of society is ripped apart, remember this society has a mighty heart. We won't be nodding dogs to their contra bless you dictions, so stop the spread, break the chain, wash your hands of their constrictions, love the bless you people, break out against the outbreak, inoculate each other from state-inflicted heartache. If we're bless you sick of selfish motherfuckers planning our damnation, let's build up our community and be a decontamination. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was dope. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve. Every time I do this Mind Over Matter, I always leave either with a catchphrase, but I've never left with a jingle before. Corona in a bottle. That's going to be my new jingle. Thank you. I don't know what the advert is, but I'm going to use it somehow. So thank you so much, Steve. We're going to go on to our next open micer. We have for you coming to the screen, Elizabeth McGuigan. You guys are throwing me off with the names today. Did you guys do this on purpose? Make some noise for Elizabeth, guys. Woo! Woo! And Elizabeth, please tell me how to say it properly.
I was just remuted. It's McGeown. So if you kind of think rhyming with phone, yeah. This is an older poem of mine, but the lockdown has brought some old thought patterns kind of back to the fore. So this is just kind of about that particular thought pattern. The first steps outside are filled with enthusiasm, thoughts of the goodbyes I've just said and the day ahead of me, making that first street a blur of productivity. The second street is more methodical. I'm finding a pace now, finding a rhythm that suits me, taking in the sights of the day around me, children being taught to cross the road, the lawns being mowed, the hazard yellow of the car number plate, but mustn't look at that, mustn't look. Mine says, let's play a game. I can't avoid the yellow that's on every street I walk every day of my every life. 3 block capital letters, 4 numbers, adding to a lucky 7, but 7 can't be lucky because 7 has no symmetry. Another car is the only answer that will bring it to 14. Every number plate must be memorized behind the eyes an even number of times before the second car approaches, and you slow your pace to do this. Two isn't safe enough, though. It's a thin approximation of a security blanket, and another car would add warmth to your net. Another two, 1, 2, 1, 2 for extra. You're the car collector, just so everyone will come out of this okay, because you know they're fine, but you know even more that you can't risk not doing it this way. There aren't many cars here, though. It's a cul-de-sac. God bless them and their French ways. Children have played here, scrawling their names in chalk where I walk, marking out pavements and drain covers. Mine says, let's play a game. Drain covers are so silent, though, so patient. They hug the curb so sneakily that the angle of your trajectory must be changed to appreciate the edges, to tell them, I see you, okay? But does it look different than it did yesterday? Is it changing, rearranging? You must crane your neck a little for the full picture. And when someone walks towards you, your neck becomes stiff with the effort of not giving in, of looking right ahead, bright ahead, where all good people look. The poison in your thoughts makes your veins smell, a sweaty hell of what could happen if you don't stare it down, glare it down. It's never been hands. My hands are clean, always have been, always will be, or not. That's not what matters to me. Lights aren't on, off, on, off, on, off, on. It's an outdoors phenomenon. When I can't control my environment, don't know what that blinking light meant. I'm gifted with visions of family members bleeding in the road, later haloed, looking down on me, but I can't see or feel them. Their invisibility is my responsibility if I had counted better or more thoroughly, because it's in my hands. That open gate will create a schism that on the surface is in no way related to the health of my family, but the worm of logic dictates that a hole in the perfection of everything must be atoned for and more. The balance must be redressed and rational thought compressed in my tight chest, getting tighter with the pressure of these lives in my hands. Death is making plans. The superheroes panic the way I do. A Batman short of oxygen, feeling the familiar tingle in his toes when he's in the throes of a guilt attack. Who have I killed? Attack a Superman whose kryptonite is the caring, the praying for the family who holds him back, makes him crack from the pressure of carrying them. I'm no fool. There are numerical rules. If I can just resist the pull of staring the wrong way, going the long way, just need to leave the house early enough to give myself more time, complete my tasks, do what they ask, and don't let the numbers bury you. The first steps outside are filled with enthusiasm. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was really great of you. I think you said a line in there that really, because I'm all about imagery, you said the poison in your thoughts makes your veins smell. Where the hell did you get that from? That's brilliant.
Just the stress, yeah. But I said swell and I accidentally said smell. So
do you know what? Both of them could work actually. That's divine intervention right there. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. We are going to keep moving on to our next open mic act. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, drop some emojis in the comments, some fires for any of your favorite poets, and we do post all of their social medias, so make sure you give them a click and a follow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever is posted. And we're going to move on to our next open mic. We have for you coming to our screens, Z, are you there? Can you hear me? Where are you at? Z, Corona in a bottle. See, I knew it would come useful at some point. We are just gonna wait for Z to come to the stage, hopefully the screen. Okay. No? Okay, then maybe we shall move on to our next open mic. We have Rohan on the schedule. So, dear host, can we get Rohan Samuel? If you're able to unmute yourself, please do so.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There you are. I see you on my screen. How are you doing today?
I'm really good today, actually. I'm really good.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a poem that I think people can relate to. So I'm gonna go straight in. So it's called My Strength is My Weakness. I just want to say I'm cursed. And a lot of you have this curse and you don't even know it. You show it, but you never knew you had it until consequences that followed actions have you reflecting on what was. You see, I have the curse of the strong. And I'm not saying that because I'm big-headed, shoulders broad and, I'm kind of wide-chested. I'm saying it because my will, like Will, has me acting till I am a legend, pursuing my happiness until I gain 7 pounds of pure concentrated strength, until I have the power like royalty. I am Fresh Prince, and swim through these bad boys dressed as men in black with my sharp tail, and that's before I knew I was born a Gemini. You see, my strength is my weakness. My walls will never be broken. And yes, it may be a token of my achievements, but can I really say I've been successful? I mean, I've never let the external extremities manifest into remedies so I can blame people about what happened in my life. I have never told myself I've had to be strong. It just happens to be like when Mario steps on a mushroom and suddenly he gets bigger. You see, the extra weight that was put on my table, I only ever looked at it as responsibility. So reinforced the legs with scraps, made it stable, shine the surface of my table so that my first impressions left an impression so you would never have to look underneath. I've been cursed by my own strength. And a lot of you may think, why is he ramming about strength for? Like, strength is so positive. Just know that my strength is meek, not because of you. It's just because of me. I have many responsibilities that depend on me to make sure my walls never crumble. And like Trump, I took my enemies to reinforce the concrete wall to make sure these bricks were able to lock what was inside. I ask you, am I wrong? I wonder, am I strong? Is it okay to keep moving forward with a smile on your face, knowing full well you're not happy inside? Is it okay to put others first because you know they depend on you, but you haven't learned how to depend on yourself? Yes, my table is reinforced, but are my shoulders? And I don't mean that as a metaphor, I mean shoulders. Because once that goes, the rest below becomes immobilized. So what can you actually hold? I was cursed to think that strength is all that I have. For example, if I take one brick from that wall that I raised in defense, I might believe my vulnerabilities will come crashing through. And that scares me to the pit of my stomach. But I fail to address that it's not vulnerability creeping through, it's actually the light hues of my core of what makes me human. So I had to change my frame in order to contain this internal battle. Strength versus weakness, gods versus mortals, good versus evil, the court versus the people, poor versus richer. Are you getting the picture? I looked within my own strength and ripped off every Velcro band-aid to expose the Teflon weakness because the wall I put up was only hiding the solid foundations that I viewed was a problem. Flash forward to me now. You see, I'm cool with my vulnerabilities. They're like my cousins. They exist but aren't always around me. I can depend on them because they show me another alternative to the final outcome. You see, my strength walks by my side. True grit and muscle, that is my protector and my keeper. But my weakness walks close behind. They catch me when I fall back and make me understand why I need to get back up. You see, I still have the curse of the strong. I mean, it's only natural that I've had to evolve with it to make sure my strength becomes my strength, because my weakness is merely a foundation to build upon, not looked upon as something anymore that needed to be hidden. I'm cursed. And now that I've told you, I wonder if you'll say that you're cursed too. Thank you.
Woo! Make some noise for Rohan.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yo, you think you're slick, I call them Will Smith bars.
What
is it? Pursue my happiness till I gain 7. No,
yeah,
that was
till I
dope.
gained 7 pounds.
No, that was dope. I was a little bit triggered though. Do you know how many times I played Mario and missed that mushroom? Every time. Always gets away from me.
Nah, you
So
gotta
thank
go. You gotta go back and get the mushroom. It's important.
I mean, overcome that PTSD eventually. Thank you so much, Rohan. That was amazing. We're going to move straight on to our next open mic. We have Bex Sutton coming to the screen. Bex, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm already a fan because your name's Bex, but make some noise for Bex, guys.
So hi, I'm Bex Sutton, and I guess like right now it's quite difficult for people that we've all been put in this situation, and some of us have got our vices like right there creeping up on us. So I'm going to do a poem that I wrote a while ago that's about one of mine. So a bit of a trigger warning is like an addictive behaviour theme to this. And It's called Conversations with Becky, and Becky, although I'm called Bex, like it's obviously short for Rebecca, and I used to be called Becky when I was younger, and that feels like a much older version of myself. And I've often referred to myself as Becky when I'm doing things that I don't like. So this is a poem called Conversations with Becky. You come alive at night when you send my body out to find the answers to the questions that plague your mind. When you peel the blanket back from those old lies you tell yourself. Always seeing the appeal of the deep and endless night, the neon lights, the amber liquid spilled that refract glitter from the broken glass on the pavement that you pad your weary souls upon. So you've learned to take a sip. It's a long problem, but you found a quick fix. You ask the alchemist for a potion, rub it on your pain like a lotion, a liquid drip of bliss, a wound healed with a heady kiss, and your problems, they cease to exist. You bathe in the release from the inner fight. Your blood plays hide and seek from your mind and your senses. Becky, I am restless. You colour my heart in dark when you down that wine and discount the time that you steal from me. You put every night on a pedestal, your ticket to shine. You don't care for my sleep or my rest. You stamp on the best foot I try to put forward. You fill my lungs with smoke, turn my profound words into jokes. You wipe my memory clean, lock tongues with foreign teeth. You follow the early hours like some yellow brick road, looking for some kind of hope or a home for yourself. Seems you've never known that I've been here all along, being forced to dance to belong to your song. So you take another drink and I'm gone. But I can't be gone. I'm the one. And I know the truth. And you know, I know you. You want to suspend the time between those thoughts, delay that sharp pressing dart, the one that won't let you sleep, that breathing, beating heartbeat, the one that lives inside your forehead, pulses behind your eyes, won't give you a moment's rest from pressing the questions into your chest. So you sink another drink to forget. But Becky, I can't forget. How can I forget? It's my gullet that you open, my stomach which accepts this endless babbling brook that runs through every crook of my body. It finds your secrets in my veins. It sends false signals to my brain and it'll kill me. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Hey.
Woo!
Fire, fire, fire.
So good.
Agreed,
was
agreed,
fire.
agreed. That was fire indeed. Thank you so much, Bex. I feel like there's like a theme running. I can't remember the line you said. You said, your blood plays hide and seek from your mind. And I thought that was a pretty profound line. So thank you so much for that. Brilliant, amazing. We are down to our last open micer for the first half. Another one of my personal faves, Mr. Ooh Beehive himself, Clive Osmond to the screen. Make some noise for Clive, guys.
Hello. Right, a few months ago, I wrote a performance piece that involved a voice recording where the voice was representing my own self-doubt and insecurity. Unfortunately, that piece doesn't work on Zoom because of the clash of the different, it just doesn't. So I've rewritten it slightly so that it's just a more straightforward spoken word piece. Hello, Clive. Remember me? I've been out of your life for a while, right? But I've not gone away. I've been lurking, just waiting to strike on a night like tonight so I can delight in crushing you when it matters most and the stakes are high. I like to do that. It's my modus operandi. It always hurts more if I choose my moments. It makes me such a fierce opponent to let you be foolish and begin to believe, think you'll achieve some of the things you long for and need. You don't need success. It'd be wasted on you. If people liked you, what would you do? You're stupid and awkward and poor company. I'm your lifetime companion. You can never dump me because you are inferior. Whose voice are you hearing when I say that, Clive? Your ex-wife's? Your father's? Your mother's? Your daughter's? You know they couldn't all be wrong, don't you? I have no control over which voice you hear, but I can control you with your fear. You know that, of course. I've done it before. And will knock you back down to the floor every time you open the door to me. And you can never refuse to grant me entry because you're the servant and I'm the gentry. You'll never be free. When things appear to be going well, I'll take you to that private hell within your subconscious, a prison cell that chains you, closes your mind to anything but what I have to tell you. You came here thinking people were interested in the feeble words you have to share. I know. But look at the disdain in their stare. Feel the contemptuous air that fills the room. You wear the cloak of a loser, and that's all they see. Your efforts and battles are invisible to them because you don't exactly rattle any cages. You don't carpe diem, because I flatly refuse to let you do so. You are a slave to my intent, and you will wonder where your hope went on those days when there is no one to talk to. No one answers your calls. I say, hey, you have no one at all, and you'll never have the balls to doubt me. No one cares for you. You're not worth the effort. So you have an indefinite sentence. I am your jailer, your owner, and I make you a loner because that's what suits me best. So remember, whatever you do, no one is ever impressed. You were, you are, and always will be a gibbering mess. Forget any hopes you had of success. You're a nuisance, you're useless. There is no inducement for anyone to show any interest. You're mine, and I shall keep you suppressed. And just when you feel the corner is turned, I'm bigger and stronger when I return. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Clive. You always have this way of like putting me in my feelings. Like, it's not fair. One day, can I not cry? Just once, please. That would be awesome. Thank you. No, that was a beautiful piece. Thank you so much. Clive was our last open micer for the first half, so we are going to take a quick short break, let you guys grab a drink, grab a beverage, and whilst we are on that break, we're going to play for you some amazing vibes from our one and only resident DJ, Mr. Nutty P. So Nutty P, take it away.
Yeah, so what's going on, people? Hope everyone's good. I'm bare hot. It's hot as shit today. Hope everyone's all right. And that. Some beats, some tunes, some demos. It's all produced by myself, pretty much. Oh wait, not that one. Here we go. This one.
Yo, trying to take you around the galaxy. A higher level, don't be mad at me. On another planet with the sun, got me thinking, no one bad as me. We run this shit, it's like an athlete. On the planetary, on my spaceship, with my space pitch. Take around the constellation to appreciate shit. And I ain't trying to deviate shit. Trying to take you where we're going to the lowest when we're going. Do this over when we're flowing. I'm bringing it back home. About to draw me like I'm bringing a black hole. I'm flying at light speed, I'm higher than Astros. And you can be like me if you fuck with the man's flow. Oh, I'll take you higher than the astronaut. And anywhere that you've been at before, coming back for more. Now we never left high like I'm heaven sent. I'll take you places you ain't checking on the apps for. Yeah. So come on, we'll fly. We'll make you feel alright. We'll take you to the stars tonight. We'll make you touch the sky. And you know that's true. We'll take you around the moon. Like if we've got a few, so go with you and oh, check out the regular. We're in the whole time. So the sky, see it through your eyes, the stars, the night. Ride with us if you want the best time ever. Up there with the stars, so just call us Interstellar. Don't need to worry about the weather.
Right, now I'm about to play something I'm not really supposed to play, but it's old. This is a tune I did with Shaka. It's called Silly Sitch.
My unique name is Insomnia. I don't mind if we're going in the studio. Trying to beat drops, trying to save life. We trading punchlines for the daylight. Can I end the day? Heart's brain and she knows. So she's up late, weekday, sending news. So I Uber got straight to a yard. Sailing cherry spice in the back of cars. Oh, we take a break, fucking off the round two. Play a Vice City on a BS2. Pretend that we both stole the Ferrari. Playing MJ good, the city streets. Then I want about the fight tank or one. Running by the high price thanks cover on. And she starts stopping, no the noise at the time. Of the two of these, I can tell it's gone. Cover on your shoulders, the shot down the track. Cause every time I see you, we had it on right. That's the situation. That's in the situation. Too much out of living, too much out of hiding, too much of it shit. It's a beat around this time, I swear. That's in the situation. That's in the situation. Flashbacks, slipper black pantyhose. Running blackjack, stripping every time we lose. Palm to the jaw, where you got son. That ain't right as blog, shaka, that's a hard. I don't know why I don't box, but she got me on the front. Yeah, I shouldn't have even played that one really, but screw it. It's the apocalypse, man. What's the worst that's gonna happen? This is the next one. This one's from May K. It's called The Dojo, produced by myself as well. Co-written by myself. Oh shit, my bad. Wheel up.
Ooh, maybe your mom was a pacifist. Maybe that's why you're an antagonist. Oh, maybe you need some therapy. Oh, yeah. Maybe that is a remedy. Oh, yeah. You owe me. You owe me. All the stuff that you show me, I should have known you was phony, yeah. It's obvious to me, but lately I've been thinking to go and tell you about yourself. Walking around with that big you don't stop for your head. Don't make me point up like it's a real check yourself before you upset me back Was you neglected as a youth?
Yeah, alright. I don't even know how many more I can play. I'm gonna play another one for me and May and my boy Zen Bass and Shay Seven and Sam Frank. It's an exclusive. It's called Still Rising. Jeez.
Look, I am back with a vibe. It's obvious that it never left. Taking my time with the rhyme, so every verse gets better yet. Quality over quantity, but still got quantity constantly. These are my man a novelty, it's not for me. And the word on the street that got to me is you're not as G. What you're holding is not chrome. Come like Pinocchio with a long nose, Gonzo, trying to flip the script because they're taking the wrong roles. Uh-oh, every lyric I spit will forget it like Dumbo. Hear what I'm saying, some of you ain't in what you spraying. If you flip burgers, then just say it. You ain't commit murders, why are you playing? Because one of these days a brain's gonna catch you gazing with an AK, gonna walk in brazen. When the trait ain't your life, gonna take it. I hope that you make it, yeah.
I'm real, and I don't care how you feel. I'm buried in this thing, and my soul is made of steel, yeah. I'm real, and I don't care how you feel. I'm old school in this thing, and my soul is made of steel, yeah. I'm real, and I don't care how you feel. I'm buried in this thing, and my soul is made of steel, yeah.
Cool, I'll play one more and I'll hand it over back to you guys. I'm gonna play this tune called Trials of Babylon. Myself and Rodney P. Not out yet, but coming soon.
Yeah.
Nutty on the bottom.
Look, always have people asking me which one of my parents is white, but that doesn't coincide with the genetic heritage that I hold inside. I've been told for most of my life that I was half caste or mixed race, but I'm pure human, so I know that's all lies. The amount of times that I've been at a ships and been compared to another bread just because my skin was light, or a white dog telling me Bob Marley was this guy. But judging a man on his complexions like judging someone on the colour of their eyes, seem like we're stuck in these struggling times. Oh my. My granddad was a yardie, come through looking for a job. Around the same time, Enoch Powers running his gums. That's one of the chairs busting it up in Brixton, but you're in running them up. Not a lot's changed since 1981. We're shutting it down like it was a youth club. With no funding, I'm wondering who bought the guns and the drugs still. Why so many black working class youths resort to hustling? It is troubling. Cause they're obsessed with money doubling. Like they ain't got no family to trust in. Trials and tribulations that I'm going through. Illuminati want my soul, what am I gonna do? Who you gonna slew when they come for you? Who's gonna comfort you? Got my community addicted to violence and genetic pain. We're trying to wash away with drugs and booze. Wanna see a change, it's gotta come from you. I got a call from 97, I got a tune I want to touch, I said yeah, send it on. And when I heard the beats and the bars, I could call them back and say yeah, that's strong. Because in the days and times, nothing's going out of their mind because race is an issue. So let me jump on this shit too, and you can take this how you wish to. Now, yeah, that's all you're getting from that one. Still, yeah, big up everyone. I've been Nutty P and sweating my
Gang,
arse
gang,
off.
gang, 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 gang.
You know what I'm saying? Big up Mind Over Matter, man. Them follow me on my name is Nutty P on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. You get me? Big up.
Yeah, yeah.
Rip, 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 rip.
Yeah.
Bogle
See, music
crew.
makes me want to dance. Thank you. I'm appreciative. At least you recognized what it was because I wasn't sure if I was doing it correctly. Sometimes it looks a bit robotic.
Definitely the Bogle for sure.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Nutty P. Welcome back, guys, to Mind Over Matter Digital. If you're just joining us, first of all, how dare you? You're off my Christmas list. I will put you back on if you hit the share button and invite some of your friends to our second half, because we are going to spoil you absolutely rotten with. We've not just got one, not two, we've got three of our past headliners for you to sprinkle a little bit of fire onto your Tuesday evening. So you can catch all of our past shows on our YouTube channel. Once this is all over, click on the little bit that says videos and you can binge watch some poetry. But for now, make sure you're comfortable, grab a snack, grab a beverage. Make sure you keep at least one of those hands free to drop some fire emojis in the comments and show some love for your favorite poets. Everyone watching, I can see all the emojis in the comments. Shout out to Yaz, Tahan, The Adventures of E, and Jordan. Jordan says, big up Nutty P, and Man of the Fro says that last beat was hard. I agree, because it made me bogle. So we're going to keep it moving. Our first open micer, we have Juliana. Juliana, make your way to the screen. Make some noise for Juliana, guys. Yay, yay.
Yay.
You see me properly? Because I've actually moved rooms because I had to charge my phone. Yeah, you can see me okay. Yeah? Okay, right. So I'm Juliana Ranikar Breeze, and my poem is entitled, If I Was Not Myself, I Would Be Someone Else. But in my twilight years, I am happy being who I am. In fact, there are others who'd like to be like me. I'm completely myself now, no husband to criticize my behavior. I'm a creative individual. I'm like Marmite. Love me or don't. I don't care, and I never have. I'm a magnet for individuals who recognize me. It takes one to know one. I have new talents that I'm discovering and exploring. I have no mentor. I have become the mentor. If I want something, I get it. If you don't ask, you don't get, has always been my motto. I'm a survivor. I am self-confident. I am positive. I let go of all the negativity in my life I experienced 3 to 4 lost years in breakdown, or should I say breakthrough, and I'm making up for lost time. Writing kept me going. Writing is healing. Words are empowering. I found my voice on the radio, and I have a voice. I am heard. I have stories, and I tell them on the radio. I'm a storyteller, and always have been. Now people listen. I'm an interviewer, and always have been. Now people listen and talk. I do not want to be someone else. I celebrate who I am. I am unique. I am me. Thank you.
Nice, nice, nice.
Love that. Such great wisdom. Amazing.
Yes, Juliana Ranica Breeze, thank you so much. You are a whole mood. She said, if you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't have that on a t-shirt, you should probably get one, because that is a motto for life. Thank you so much. We are going to move on to our next open micer we have for you coming to our stage. Our November headliner from Camden. So make some noise for comedian, poet, and all-round awesome individual, Sarah Callahan. Guys, make some noise.
Zup, 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 zup.
Woo! Hello, how's everyone doing? I'm gonna do a poem that I did a couple of years ago. It's called Life Set in Stone. I haven't done it for a while, so let's see how it goes. Rain pounds the bedroom window, making the glass rattle and shake. She lies awake, not wanting to get up. It's a Monday, so that means school, and after all, we know that kids don't like it, especially her. Ignoring her mother's shouts of breakfast is ready, she goes into her self-made den underneath the bunk bed and tries to sleep in there instead. She always pretended not to hear on days like these. She had her toys, her tapes, and a few CDs. What more could you want at 8 years old? Ratty hair filled with knots a sailor would have been proud of. She hated having it brushed. A regular row and shoe like clockwork each morning when it was tried to be put into a reasonable state for school. She hated school. So much hate and anger for a little girl. She didn't know why she saw the world in crimson, but she knew no different. Born into a loveless partnership, children feel the vibes. They're like dogs from birth, they sense that divide. She heard her mother cry many times. Plates smash. Her first word was fuck, and she was asking her teacher what a cunt was by age 4. Smashing his way through the front door off his face, her father comes home and proceeds to piss all over the floor. QRL number 6,590. She listens at the top of the stairs in her nightie. She came from a broken home, but in turn that made her fit in. You were considered weird if your parents were still together back then. Who's your mum fucking? Your dad's welfare. Give him my number. Banter. She's popular, like one of the boys. Gives as good as she gets and makes lots of noise. A problem with authority, she was always in detention, but at least it got her that attention that she craved so much. The older she got, the more she became a misfit, distancing herself away from these counterfeits. Adulthood didn't treat her well. Childhood memories been repressed, insecurities constantly being put to the test. Alone in a one-bed flat, she had too much time to think. Mental states been pushed to the brink. She turned to drugs and then to drink. So much potential, she's had that all her life, but fuck, ending up a lonely housewife. She knew deep down she wanted more. She wanted to be loved. She wanted that stability for sure, but not before. She knocks on a door named Destiny. And in ideal worlds, what would happen? But no good just saying it. Words need to be put into action. But when you're the queen of procrastination, the realization seems further away. Dreams and reality in a boxing match inside her head keep any work at bay. It's Monday. Again. Rain pounds the bedroom window, making the glass rattle and shake. She lies awake, not wanting to get up. Thank you.
So sick.
Thanks.
Wow. Oh my, Sarah, are you and Clive Weck? I swear you guys are trying to put me in my feelings. I said I don't want to cry today. You guys are conspiring together again. This is what you're doing, right? She said, I don't know why she saw the world in crimson. Like that's crazy. Thank you so much, Sarah Callahan. That is brilliant. Make sure you follow her. All her details are in the YouTube comments. We are going to move on to our next open mic. We have Mimo Brown coming to the stage. Make some noise for Mimo Brown.
I'm muted. Yeah, no, I am. My name is Mimo Brown. I was going to do a piece that was related to the mental health but then it's like it's got, you know, like one of your lines, but it's got a line in it that like I keep getting to and I'm like, ugh, and I can't do it. So I'm going to do a piece I feel a little bit more safe with. This one's called The Seed of Racial Politics. I am the seed of racial politics, the most unspoken of topics. I am white like doves and black like onyx. I was born of an odd mix, where my sides will never fully blend. I was born of Bible quotes and fag ends, the green rolling hills and then the underbelly of the city, spice and seasoned, and the chippy. What's considered dangerous and what's considered pretty. Between two sides until one decides to look at me with pity instead of shame or guilt. I am the cotton picker, but also the foundation on which this racist world was built. I am not watered down nor distilled. I am every part full flavor. I am braver than the ignorance around me. I will savor the thought that grounds me, that I am part this, part that, mother's tongue, father's wrath. I will not have my black tamed nor my white shamed, all because some sort of lineage wasn't sustained. I am born of all sorts. I break records. I am not a child of my time, as I'd hate to have this time claim me as its own. As a mixed race girl like me is constantly asked where she's from, but cannot say where is home, because home is not determined on race alone. It could be where you hang your hat, it could be where you lay your head, but it doesn't mean it's safe just because you have a bed when your culture is all scattered, your identity's in tatters, if it's not nurtured and treated like it matters. And then you have to find it for yourself. Because I don't remember reading about mixed race people on my family bookshelf. And it feels like no one wants to let you in from the outside. Trust me, I've tried. So I took to reading about the shortcomings and successes of both of my sides, critically taking authors as my cultural guides, to seek the truths where others would hide, to correct the truths where others had lied, to fill in the parts that my mixing denied, to welcome me places I thought I'd lost my invite, to settle this feeling of inner divide that leaves me feeling so twisted inside. And now I wear my dual heritage with pride. As my own sort of person. Yes, oddly mixed, but understanding that I'm not a problem that needs to be fixed or changed or fetishized. And no, I don't think I'm too nice. I'm not half of any caste, and I will not be judged on any of my ancestors' pasts. It's like I can finally see, it's like I can finally breathe. It's like I can finally believe that if we can all stop thinking so judgmentally, then perhaps we can see that the future of our humanity lies in people that do look like me.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
Stand up and pay attention.
Yes, that was another powerful piece. Thank you so much, Mimo Brown. She said, I am not half of any caste. Better say it louder for the people in the back. That was amazing. Thank you so much. We are going to move on to another open mic for you today. We're on open mic number 3. We are going to introduce to the screen Flow Poet, SOFA alumni, and lead vocal of one of the dopest bands. Make some noise for December headliner T-Star Nay in the building. Where's you at? Come to the screen. Star Nay. Yay.
Bexy Bex, you make me laugh. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay. This piece, so as you know, obviously GCSEs are cancelled this year. I'm a school teacher, so if the exams were, were going to go ahead, this piece is kind of for them at this time. So it's called Pens Up. 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. The buzzing conversations that I hear on a day-to-day, the anxious faces that I spread my blessings on, kids that have worked their arse off all year round to feel the pressure build up, morning of exam time, they can't even compose themselves to put all their blessings on. 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. That's painful to see, the pressure of it all. The work from the teachers means everything and nothing. Pre-warm up to the test, the paper unseen to all, and the revision guides that have been left unattended, unopened or never bought. The teachers that see it all bringing in bananas to the canteen for kids who skip breakfast, or even worse, had no option for breakfast in the morning, because what is breakfast to a kid with family issues up against the wall? 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. The man them in the canteen grab each other to pray for the Most High to walk with them during exam time, feeling the worries and suppressing it with prayers. I want to tell the man them that the Most High's been walking with them on the days they haven't been praying, not to sweat. He doesn't work like that. Switching him him on in the most needed of moments. He keeps them switched on in the most crucial of times. They will do good to remember that. I look away and go back to marking in my form. When a kid asks me and I ask them, how did it go? Their face says it all. Yeah, it went well, miss. Or those that simply say it how it is, miss, it went fucking shit. And I frown at their language, but respect their truth anyhow. Then they go off into the exam, giving each other last minute pointers, reminders each other to breathe, smile, they got this, they're ready. So you see 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. Looking up at the clock during exam time is your best and worst enemy. It's ticking, yet the 60-minute paper determines what you've been doing for the past 5 years in school. I mean, what the heck? I mean, I'm all for the content to be learned, but against a formula that tests need to be marked in a scheme that fits one size fits all. They have been creative in their answer, but Edexcel doesn't award them a mark because of incorrect terminology. Sometimes when I mark a paper following the grade descriptors, I see them in person and give them an apology that until they leave this institution, the only way is the exam board way. And I really give my time for the kids that want to better themselves in other ways and get graded at all, like Rap Club, room 317, the year 7s love it. 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. The rules to play the game finally hits home for many 1 week before the exam. Study leave isn't granted in the same time. Arguments kick off at home with the fam. Studying all day into night for summer, fasting for Ramadan. Preserving their energies for times that break their fast. Before the next day in tutor, they look on those getting their energy in their breakfast. Flashcards getting flashed between my eyes, flashing sparks of energy to make it less darker. Green pen, red pen, miss, have you got a coloured marker? The frantic panic of gatherings and form. See, some of these kids also burning track and training down in Brighton to make troubles and trials and footballs. Sixth form seems a mile away and some want it to be out. Half term allows many to take a seat and have a chat and talk it out. Half term for many is a home full of disengaged family members that haven't asked how the exams have gone. They couldn't give a toss or they haven't remembered. Dreams being clung onto, grades 7, 8 and 9 seem a little too far-fetched even for the brightest sparks. They doubt their ability. When I say, you ready for the top score? They laugh and say, miss man, you're going too far. But I tell my kids, whichever ones I see, to hold on to the top score. And they're better than yesterday when they simply just became that little bit braver and give this 10% more. 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. See, this is all for those next generations that I pass in the corridors daily, nodding in respect with the yes, miss, what's good? The ones who joke asking me when my freestyle's gonna make it on Gram Daily. This is for the kids who just want to know they're being prayed for. The pressure is no joke and it's hard to tell a kid, don't worry when their anxiety is at hand. Sweaty palms is in their antidote. They turn off their phones and switch on their growth mindsets, remembering what Miss and Sir said in class that time. Sweating teas, breathing out, wiping sweat off their brows. To the kids whose parents didn't wish them good luck today, here's my blessings, and just know that you're great. Here's my 2 pence, hoping it will mount to some change. Here's my prayers when you're closing down to breaking down on that page. You're nearly at the end of it all. I empathize with them, reminding them only 10 years ago, I was fully riding that on age. Because whatever happens after these 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. Papers are just a way to conform. In the given way we educate, but you're a student forever. And every minute you are breathing, you're making 50 marks of excellence. That's a mark a minute of simply being yourself and a better you, and to be able to guide and support you through the toughest educational times. I had to slap these thoughts, sir, into a rhyme. So you got that #1 fan right in front of you, and that's great. So 60 minutes, 50 marks, that's a mark a minute. Breathe out for those last 10 and keep that head feeling positive to the finish. I speak these words into the purest of wishes that turn into positivity for all those that fill up exam rooms for the next 60 minutes. And pens down.
Hey.
Pens down.
And maybe miss my kids. That's sad. It's lit.
I swear down. T-Star Nate as the teacher makes me want to go back to school. Like, are you doing any online courses? Because I feel like 60 minutes, 60 marks, that's a mark a minute. Excuse me. 5 minutes, 50 stanzas, it's too many bars for me to count. See, this is why I need to go back to school. This is why, for moments like this. Thank you so much, T-Star Nate. Remember, you can catch all of our past headliners on YouTube. We are going to move on to our next, the one, the only, Anna Sinsky. She is our resident psychologist. She is also doing an Instagram live tomorrow evening. So make sure you tune into that and follow us on Mind Over Matter. LDN on Instagram, and I'm sure she'll tell you a little bit more about what she's got to offer before she goes into her poem. So welcome to the screen, Anna. Where are you? Make some noise, everybody.
Yeah, so Yeah, so tomorrow and every Wednesday, we have an Instagram Live, a Mind Over Matter Instagram Live video where we basically discuss different mental health topics. So tomorrow I was planning on discussing eating disorders, and then you can ask different questions, and then we do a little open mic as well. So if you want to join, if you want to do some poetry, then join us for that. And I also do a psychotherapeutic writing workshop. I mean, we do it at Mind Over Matter, so I facilitate that every Monday. So in case you're feeling anxious and want to join that, then you're free to join. All right, so my poem today is called I Want a Real Man. Okay. I want a real man, the kind that will devour tons and tons of meat. And before seeing me, he'll be out all day waiting to defeat his next prey. Flowers? I don't want that shit. Bring me a bunny and snap its neck right before my eyes. And I better not hear any cries as its tiny helpless body falls in your hands, 'cause I want a man who understands compassion and empathy are not sexy. I want a real man, the kind that bottles up all his feelings and never ever feels insecure. I want a man who's always sure he feels nothing. I want a real man, the kind that always earns more than me. So obviously I can't get too ambitious for this dream man of mine. Never as smart as him, always a few steps behind. But that's all right, because this man will give me all I need. But when he has more than enough, I want him to sink in greed and never stop. I want a real man, the kind that only thinks about power, sex, and money. And when things get tough, he pretends they're not, or just finds them funny. I want a real man. The man that has one emotion and one emotion only, anger. And when he feels lonely or sad or full of grief, and when things don't go his way, he doesn't talk about it. Come on, there's nothing to say. He just goes out and gets drunk or high. And if you ask him about these feelings, obviously he needs to lie. No, sorry, not lie. He doesn't have these feelings at all because he's a real man after all. And one day he'll be gone and we'll all wonder what went wrong and why he's never opened up or asked for help all along. And we'll ask why he's never shown any feelings at all. And that will be because he's a real man after all. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Anna. That was brilliant. Make sure you do tune into that Insta Live on Wednesday. And if you don't already know, follow us on Instagram, Mind Over Matter London, because we are active on this Mind Over Matter digital platform. We have Anna on Wednesday, and on Thursday, we also have a Young Minds Matter event, which is hosted by the beautiful, the wonderful Miss Yankee in partnership with Poetry Prescribed. And it's about bringing young poets to the stage whose voices need to be heard. So make sure you tune in on that and follow us for anything else that's coming up. But coming up right about now, we have our next open micer. We have, oh yay, I like this one. She can make me laugh and cry in the same poem. She was our February headliner. So make some noise, bring it to the screen. Billy PN, where are you? Make some noise, everybody.
Hi.
Yay.
Hey, yay. Thanks.
Yay.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for my really nice intro, Bex. I feel very special. I wrote a poem recently. My mum is like my best friend in the world, and she's constantly going on at me like, "Where's my poem? Where's my poem?" I'm like, "Mum, I don't have the words," but I've been in lockdown. I've had some thinking time, and I've got the words. So I've written, this is brand new for my lovely mum. It's called "My Mum Was Born a Fighter." My mum was born a fighter. In Stepney Green, her knees grazed pavement shared with several siblings and 2 immigrant parents. She likes to remind us she's a proper Cockney. Born in earshot of the Bowbells themselves, see, they don't make them like her anymore. But they didn't make them like her back then. Born in the 60s, half Mauritian, half Paddy, in a country that bore store signs spouting the phrase, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. Yeah, my mum was born a fighter. My mum's got thick skin, but a soft spot in her heart ready to let you in if you can earn it. She's too hard on herself, but she won't unlearn it. She told me family is the most important thing. She can play with my niece for hours. She said, us kids are the song that her heart sings. She once told me daisies are her favourite flowers. I wonder if that's because they grow together in tight little patches. When we were little, it was just us three witches crafting spells of love and protection around our home. My mum tells me I am never alone. She has fought many battles. She is a decorated war veteran. When it comes to charging the field, there is no one better than she. A social worker all her working life, my mum took on systems that were rife with oppression. Vulnerable children, their spirits nearly killed, but for her, never afraid to be silly and never afraid to be firm, she was their champion. My mum is fucking smart. She can unpick cryptic crosswords and boyfriend problems and postmodernist art with elegant ease. She is perfect in a crisis. She is my one call from jail. She cooks with all the right spices and her advice never fails. If you say something is tasty, she'll say, a bit like myself. And if you say you need to hide a body, she'll say, the bleach is on the top shelf. My mother is a different kind of ride or die. Anyone tries to cross me, she'd like to see you try, so picture this. It is 2010, sat opposite some hag at parents' evening when they croak, Billy isn't meant for a school like this. See, another mother might have taken the disc, but not my mum. You could see her eyes narrowing, and I'm sat there all proud because I know what's happening. Long story short, she slew her. And although that was nothing new from her, I walked out with my head held high. See, I have never doubted that I was made from greatness. She is tender. The kind of tenderness that is tough. She is a lioness. She is two cubs, nape at the neck, in the mouth, snarl. She is the secret ingredient that makes me so damn delicious. She is vicious if you cross-we. She is a staunch, liberal lefty. She is me. She is who I want to be. We were born on the same day. Partners in the stars. She said, baby girl, you were the best present I've ever had. Ours is one of those bonds. The day that you arrived, you put a bubble around my heart. You can do whatever you want to do. Did you know that? See, that has always been an undisputed fact in our household. A queen who raises queens, and if that seems obscene or arrogant, then maybe this poem isn't for you. My self-esteem is a parapet, and she built it that way to make it untouchable. And I think about these fights, how my mother has gone round for round, these same conversations going round and round in these wars she never asked for. Tears in doctors' offices when they say there's nothing they can do more. See, my mum was born a fighter, but she winces in pain when she thinks we can't see her. Government treat her like some sort of number in their system, 50-page forms to prove that she needs their assistance when the toll it takes to write in the pages, that persistence costs her 2 days of not being able to move. And the government say that she's got something to prove. And do you know what? That sounds like fighting talk to me too. But I'm here to talk about my mum. Pillar of strength, guiding light. The only person I would want next to me in a fight, the most generous, warm-hearted mama bear with hazel eyes and wild curly hair. And yeah, I guess you'd say I'm grateful. I guess you'd say I'm proud. I guess that she'd never tire of hearing me say it out loud. I love you, Mum. Your affections speak multitudes in never-ending elegies, Mum. I hope you know that we have forever entwined our energies, Mum. You were born a fighter, and you will always be a fighter, but here I stand, your daughter. Let me hold my arms around you. I will be your shield. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, that was so beautiful. That was so nice. Thank you so much, Billy. Your mom sounds awesome. She was like, her mom said, us kids are the song her heart sings. That's so beautiful. Like my mom tells me to just pass the remote. So yeah, thank you so much for that. That was brilliant. We are down to our final open micer, last but definitely by no means least, bringing to the screen for you, Mary Ann FC Poetry. Where are you at? Make some noise for Mary Ann, everybody.
Zoop, 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 zoop. Where is
Hi, can everyone hear me? Yeah, it's good. This poem is a mental health poem, so I'm just gonna start it. My gardens are guarded with guns surrounding the sound of the underground. Penetrates around the crowds of loneliness, I found myself vacant. I allow my soul to fall in lows, to vacate my cell phone in loads of loading photos of silence. Ignore the buzzing nectar upon my flowers. Frowns flowered into sadness, my head heading into spirals when bleeding thoughts drip so often into days of death. When I hear gunfire, embrace the rage that raids my heart. I quell the flames with the pathways of my eyes. Tears drop, I never stop cultivating my crops with lots of sore pain. My throat unable to swallow the soaring feeling of being inadequate when I stress the vessel of emptiness within myself. I fall through a perpetual phase of chasing feelings through portals of cul-de-sacs, parallel endings I started with, nights sinking into pillows of days I crave the warmth of another, then pray I'm left alone with the coldness of myself. Some days ice caps capsize around my heart and I find how hard it is to be exposed, vulnerable, to lose myself, ready to melt into the hand of another. So often I torment the fences of my mind with reminders that rewind times I couldn't defend myself, times where I let people in and locked myself out, times where my garden became my garland that I used to strangle myself whenever I felt worthless. Whenever I found validation, validate my existence, where it falls and where it lays. When it stays, my head shakes, my pillow eventually wet, drenched with tears. So no one sees that I gravitate towards my grave when yards of tears pierce grey skies more than 50 shades. I wait when ways become changed outside tube stations. I charged for change to chastise my cup when I wait, sedated as I inundate people with my fates of feeling uncertain. I just wish life adjusted around justice, freedom and happiness, knowing that I could recover from the illness with the same sick medication, both the pill and the overdose, the one that I rely on. But sometimes I wish I didn't have to wish. Sometimes I hope that this time I'm unable to time the times I welcome the past that gifted my present. I cut the scars of anger, sealing the box of anguish. I remember the days of Box Office Wednesday, the month of August, the day that augmented the birth of creating, then embarking and separating. Different paths into different parts. I can't even remember the last time you walked past me and I walked past you. As if our lives died together, I can still hear laughter and the empty void of my restless heart. I can still see happiness of wood my gaze when I see sadness crouched down in the corners of my vacant mind. Pain takes residence. Without paying enough, squatting, I let it lay its body onto the floor. Wide awake, I awake every suppressed emotion when I let out everything. Nothing beats my beating heart accelerating when we move fast. Far away with your hand clasping my heart, with your smile wearing my tears, with your feet walking, whilst mine tried to outrun you. I hold on to the creases in my cheeks, the hollows of my tired eyes, the wide awake talking at midnight until sudden sunrise. I grasped the mask that couldn't contain my feelings no longer, and threw it across the world. I submerged into seas of vulnerability and clothed my skin with sheets of dreaming that we continue to fill into the future. Thank you.
Great.
Way.
That was beautiful. That was such a beautiful piece. Thank you so much. And it was pretty much the best way to sum up our evening, because the heart and soul of Mind Over Matter is to provide people with a platform to like express themselves in a safe environment and widen the conversation around mental health by discussing it through spoken word, poetry, hip hop and song. And we really hope that we've done that for you today. We will be back again next week, Tuesday. So don't forget to hit subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all our shows on Instagram, also at Mind Over Matter LDN. And thank you so much for coming. Before we go, we're going to unmute all of our open micers. And when I say energy check, I want all of you guys to say, yeah. So on the count of 3, this never works, but I do it every week. Just one time it's going to work. I swear, one time it's going to work. So when I say energy check, all of you say, yeah. Energy check.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. Thank you guys. Bye. See you next week.
See you later.
Bye.